Episode 4 of Season 3 of JJK adapted 5 chapters of Perfect Preparation, and it's Maki's section of the story. And when Season 3 started, the anticipation for this part of the story felt like a calm before the storm, especially after watching Episode 3's explanation of the Culling Games. 2 days before the episode dropped, the animation team for the episode was released, and I'm not going to go over the entire list. And I don't know all of these names, but I recognized a few of them. I'll leave the list here, and I already knew the episode was going to be special, but this just told me we were going to be in for a possible episode of the year contender. And JJK is already amazingly animated, but the first few seconds after the OP, I could tell that we're going to go for a mini movie style when it comes to how this is going to be directed, especially with how secluded and personal everything felt. The Naoya and Maki scene in the beginning capture how little the Zenin clan, especially Naoya, gave a damn about Maki even being there. The quick flashback during the scene was angled and animated like a blurred pass. I'm kind of interested how they went about it with that direction. I know in the manga we can fully see that he's stepping over her, but it's almost like they purposely made it to where you could exactly see what he was doing in this little mini flashback. But as we get past that scene, we get her walking into the warehouse, and the lighting and shading leading up to her reaching the door was perfect. It kind of felt like a dark cloud was hanging over her as she was entering the warehouse, and her fighting Mogi with this setup was actually kind of perfect. I was surprised at how dim they made the warehouse inside the door where they were fighting, and I will admit there were some moments that were adapted super fast, and it caught me off guard because I felt like some things didn't really get to settle in as I thought they would, which I'm sure is because of the time TV restraints that they have. But regardless, the Ogi versus Maki clash and using the clashing of the swords to spark the light so you could see everything was creative for that moment. I know it's been done before in multiple facets of mediums, whether it's video games, manga, anime, TV shows, movies. But the first thing that came to my mind was actually Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 with Itachi and Shisui's team Ultimate. Like when they used the kunai to create spark flashes so you could see their eyes specifically. And I also like how they drew Ogi. They focused on his face and eyes more than anything. In the manga, it has the same vibes that Ogi looks like a zombie or a demon rather than an actual human, which is fitting for what Gege made Ogi's character. The Maki and Mai scene of Mai giving up her little curse energy and dying so Maki can reach complete heavily restriction was basically a one-to-one, probably the most one-to-one scene in the show so far from the manga. The quick flash as she was doing the transfer of them in the ultrasound was pretty slick, as it is a cover page for chapter 148. And this scene, a moment, represents a lot of what I appreciate for Gege as an artist and a writer. The scene conveys a lot of emotion and themes that stretch from the individual characters themselves to one of the more encompassing themes of the story. From a reader's perspective, Mai dying is not really the emotional hit by itself, which in most manga and anime it would be, because this is a character that we've met pretty early in the series dying, especially since it's a younger character slash student. But compared to Maki, we don't spend much time with Mai, but we know how much Mai means to Maki, and what Mai as a character really represents in the story. In season 1, before she fights Maki, she comes across as someone who acts like she's above people such as Nobara, and if you were Nobara or Megumi standing across from her at this time, you would judge from her confidence and think she's pretty respectable as a fighter. But that's just a mask that is completely destroyed once she sees Maki. And when she fights Maki later in the Goodwill arc, you realize she's just a girl who's trying to survive in a world where she has no business being in. And her own clan devalues her the minute that she was born. Maki rebels against the machine while Mai just accepts it. And the one time she acts like Maki and tries to go against the clan and gets to the warehouse before to beat her to it, she gets cut down by her own father Ogi, not standing a single chance. So the greatest thing Mai can ever do as a person and as a sister is to sacrifice what's left of her to Maki. Twins at birth share curse energy with one another, so if anything she traded one curse with her sister for another. And I love stories that are like very blunt with the audience or reader about the story or theme that they are using, but leave enough to let you interpret things yourself. She's now completed the heavily restriction and just decapitates Ogi, who saw the ghost of Toji in Maki, and I was surprised they did it like a flash kind of panel, almost like a silhouette that was popping through her or whatever, especially considering this is probably the most popular panel in this whole arc with Maki and Toji standing side by side, so I thought it was going to be something that lingered on the screen just a little longer, but that's not the direction they were going. They wanted it to be kind of quick and impactful, and if you see it, it makes you kind of like, oh shit type of moment. And now it's time for the best part for me, and the thing I could not wait to see animated even more than the final fight. was Maki going Kill Bill on the entire Zenin clan. I love that Ghost Shizono and the team took Gege's clear inspiration to Kill Bill and said, fuck it, we about to just take liberties from Tarantino and do this whole scene. They blew expectations out of the water. I'm not sure what this style in particular of animation is called, but I just love this because it's one of my favorites where the characters are less detailed as far as facial features and even body features occasionally, but the action and movements are so fluid and crisp, and characters look like they're just moving freely, like they could almost come out of the screen. And she's cutting all of the Zenin clan members down, and my two favorite scenes from this bloodshed are when a group of them are trying to attack her at once. So she jumps over them onto the second floor and clears the whole entire balcony section. And as she's doing this, the blood is being splattered across the Fusuma walls in a pinkish red color. And that kind of just let me like really take in, like, this is just pure art. Like, this is, we all know art and animation is like kind of one-to-one when it comes to anime, but I just really appreciate things like this. Like, I'm not gonna see a lot of this that often. And the second is probably her sliding on the blood and 1-inch punching this bump. Not gonna lie, I'm a little sad they didn't do the move where she slides across one guy's back, slices another dude's top off, and then stabs the other guy in the back, but I'll live. And when the massacre is over, they cut it back to the original colors and it's a literal pool of blood. So much so that when Chojuro does his earth hands technique thing, the blood just flows through Maki like she's in a seat. That combo on this half-ass Pompadour dude was crazy. Kinda random that they just locked in with that specific little mini fight right there. Especially since it looked more brutal than anything almost in the entire episode as far as what she does to just one person. Rips out Chojuro's throat, and man, poor Ranta. I don't know why they gave this boy so much sauce for this technique because they really went in with the animation for his eye paralysis. But it doesn't last long though, as he goes blind and dies in a matter of seconds. And Junichi's punch technique was upscale like hell. Even though I don't know why in the anime they had this man staring at Maki like he didn't know what to do afterwards. And I also just love how throughout this entire section they just hype up Toji even more, saying the only reason the Zenin clan is even around right now is because Toji didn't decide to do what she's doing right now. And Maki versus Naoya was perfect as well. The epitome of the Zenin clan with misogyny, traditional yet outdated ways, selfish but to the detriment of others, and an overall piece of shit is Naoya Zenin. It was a great display of the projection sorcery and the angles they showed of each attack he's doing, showing how much ground he's covering and the overwhelming headache of actually trying to track him down. It was funny seeing people like say that, you know, Naoya's punches are doing like pillow damage, they're doing 1 HP, even though we do see him like damn near break a mountain with his speed and his impact. It's just that the people he going against just know how to take a punch better, I guess. But as far as him running around using his speed to go all over the place to build up momentum and to attack Maki, it's not really going to work as far as catching her off guard, because with Toji and Maki, with these new heavily restriction bodies, they can track him a lot better than the average human. Toji's aura in this story is like the ghost haunting the narrative is always raw. It was kind of weird seeing Naoya praise Toji the way he is, even though I fully understand, but it was like he puts Toji almost like above Gojo kind of in terms of presence. Eventually she gets into the sumo stance because she can track him, and thanks to the new body, and gives him a haymaker that was so bad they had to replay it 4 different times and gave him an x-ray at the end.
Damn, you hit that nigga so hard to replay 3 different times.
We see the aftermath of everything, and her mom, who she's sliced so she can suffer more instead of an instant death. She goes around, finds Naoya, who's also crawling and trying to survive. So she then tries to atone for her sins and what she subjected her daughters to by stabbing Naoya in the back, which is ironic for what he said in episode 1 regarding women and being stabbed in the back. So now Mai is dead. Momo finds out everything when she arrives, and we learn the Gojo clan and Kamo clan basically told the Zenin clan get the fuck out of here since there's no one left, and Megumi is now the head of a clan that has a population of 3 people. This is a beautiful arc for Maki and for the story of JJK. And all in all, Mappa just did a phenomenal job at adapting this story. And my only gripe really was that I kind of wish it was a little longer in terms of everything kind of having its own moment. Like, imagine this episode was like dragged out for maybe like 35 minutes or something like that. Just saying, in a perfect world, I would have loved it. But step 1 is down. Now for step 2, which is to reach and recruit the GOAT, the restless gambler, Mr. FIFA himself, Kenji Hakari, to the team.